Hello, everyone. Welcome to F5 Podcast. This is the first of its kind, and we're so excited to have you here. This is proudly sponsored and powered by Joshua Bill. F5 is a Christ-centered platform that empowers, refreshes, and connects believers for awesome living, spiritually, professionally, and socially. So, are you a believer? Do you have interest in any career fields? Are you a professional, an entrepreneur, and you just want to connect with like minds, believers that could build one or two networks while having fun, while connecting spiritually across board, right? F5 is your go-to place, right? So please do well to follow us on our social media handle, that's Instagram at F5 Network. All right, so being the first of its kind, we're so excited. We had to bring in the best of the best. And in today's episode, we're going to be having a deep dive into technology, opening the floor, of course, with some opportunities and, some ideas and advice from well-grounded and knowledgeable professionals in the field of technology already. And with me today, I have two amazing people. I have with me the co-founder of Complex AI and also a tech consultant from EY, that's Ernst & Young. All right, so on my left is...
Hi, Kehinde Olatero, co-founder Zero Complex AI.
Awesome. Okay, I skipped Zero Complex.
Yeah, that's fine. It's okay.
Apologies for that. And on my right, we have...
Oluwaseun Akindele, tech consultant at Ernst & Young.
Awesome. All right, so, beautiful people, as you can see, they're looking so smart and sharp. And coincidentally, we're all still together with the same outfit and color. Well, not the same outfit, but the same touch of color for this podcast. And I think is this the olive color? Is maybe green?
I have no
idea. It's just green, but then again, some people have I'm sure there's a shade of green, but I don't know what shade.
Yeah, also. However it is, I think green stands for productivity or fruitfulness. Well, whatever, harvest. So we're in the season of harvest, and we're gonna harvest a lot of beautiful things.
Thank God.
Yeah.
All right. So I want us to have a quick talk on your career into tech, right? And I know not many people had that plan. When we were young, we had people say, "Oh, we had the question, what do you want to be in future?" Then I think we're capped with the old lawyer, doctors, and whatnot, right? But as time goes on, we see that there are more opportunities in different fields. And now we're at the age of AI, we're at the age of technology, and people are shifting their focus as well to technology. So just a quick dive into how you got into technology, your whole journey, please.
I've always been in tech from a very early age. In fact, my hobbies then was just surfing the internet, working on computers, doing different things. So I always thought tech as something that I learned, but I wanted to be a doctor. Right. But due to circumstances beyond my control, that wasn't going to happen. But right from uni, I dabbled into tech, and it just grew with me, right? And even when I had a 9 to 5, I still did tech on the side, websites or different things. Became more serious, and just year on year adding more skill sets or getting more knowledge about different areas, and just do what I have to do.
Yeah,
and that landed me here.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
So he sort of wanted to be a doctor, a doctor writer.
Yeah.
And I don't know, at what point did you make that switch?
I don't think it was switch.
Was there a story to it?
Oh yeah, but it was also a great story. So let me not share. So it wasn't a great story. So let's not.
Okay. All right, no problem. Okay, how about you, Sean?
So I think for me, I always wanted to do something in tech all my life. Growing up, I was always good with computers. Whenever a new phone would come out, I would have a quick knack and understanding of it. So my parents were like, okay, so he has a clear knack for this. Where can we take him to? And they said, okay, there's something called software engineering. I was looking into it, and then I applied for that, and I got in, started doing computer science to be exact. And that's how it just molded. From then, I leaned into building websites, building applications, and that's sort of pivoted more into the project management field, I would say. So I think that's really the overall scope of how I entered the tech field.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. So, when we talk about tech, people, there's this assumption and picture out there that we're talking of people with glasses, always on glasses. They always have eye issues because they're in front of screens, right? Green screens, several lines of ones and zeros. I mean, when we watch, especially some country movies, right? We have what they project is green screens, ones and zeros, boxes and all that. And it's like, oh, this is a tech guru and all that stuff, right? So I have a feeling that there are several fields in technology that we probably need to start tapping into, right? So if I was to, to you now, what are those fields and areas that you think we need to start tapping into, right, in this current age, right? That you think, because you mentioned earlier, there are different waves in technology, and it's like starting from the industrial revolution or evolution to how that we've got into a place of technology. What are those waves you think people should start tapping into?
I think, everybody knows that's the wave now, AI. So AI automations, AI agents to start with. But you can still go to your normal technical, like software development, product management, UI, UX, product marketing, right? DevOps, cloud engineering. It's a lot of skill sets, right? Sales, right? So business development, partnerships, marketing, right? You need to sell, you need to communicate your product, relations, government relations, policy, right? It's really, really large. Content creation, right? Right. So yeah, so it's a lot of opportunities. I think you should just be focused on what you're really good at. Not everybody will be software engineers. Everybody will be coders. No, but we can all find a way to add whatever unique skill sets that we have, right? So when you think about AI, for example, not everybody would build AI infrastructure, but you can be automation expert, you can be AI agents, you can set up your own agency, you can help people automate their work using no-code tools, right? You can even build AI products, right? You can be in the marketing part, you can be in the project management, product management, UI UX designer, customer support. The list is endless, literally. You can even now go into the ethics side of AI, right? Data governance, data analyst, data engineering, cloud, right? It's tons of opportunities. Yeah. So.
All right, awesome. I like that. Thank you so much. So Seun, over to you. You said you started, it was a knack. Yes. Your parents encouraged you from building applications and doing. How are we now in consulting? And what do you think it takes to be in consulting?
Discipline, diligence, those are the first two things, because consulting is a very client-focused field. A lot of people management and it can be a bit stressful. And when combined with technology, so we're always striving to be at the cutting edge of every single tech field, whether it's data science, whether it's programming, whether it's AI, whether it's automation. We're always trying to make sure we are at the forefront and be experts in whatever field you're specializing in. And similar to what you said, the key right now is AI. The race started maybe 5 years ago, and it's always improving. ChatGPT 4 years ago is drastically different to ChatGPT today. So you have to always make sure you're on top of the game. You always make sure you're always on top of whatever new thing is on the horizon. And because when you're going to a client, I'm going to offer your services, the question they'll ask is, what are you offering me that my team can already offer us already? And we have to make sure that, okay, no, they're maybe a year behind where we currently are at the moment. That's what I would say.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, so I will just have conversation. I just want us to have conversations, right? I am a believer, right? And I don't think I should focus on my career in technology solely for the concept of building the church, right? And while the church might be like an open space for several professionals to come in, right? I don't really think we have a lot of people that are now then, reinvesting their skills and all back into the church. So just a question, right? How do you think, technology can shape the future of the church? Because when we speak AI, we speak technology, we're most likely looking at it from the concept of business. How do we generate revenues for the next FY, XYZ. But for the church, what do you think? How do you see technology shaping the shape of the community?
Am I asking me?
It's an
Sure, I can go first. Since you're my boss.
Yeah.
Okay. I always think back to the pandemic and when everything got shut down.
Yeah.
I remember. So for those that don't know out there, my father's a pastor. I remember there was a lot of conversations about the churches that had that infrastructure ready to go online, to go into digital ages, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, even Zoom calls back then. They were the ones that when everything was shut down, they're ready to go and service were ready to keep going. And I know some churches suffered due to that. And I think I cannot get the exact metrics right now, but I think in Joshuaville till today, our online presence rivals or sometimes surpasses us in person on a day-to-day basis. So I think that's the first thing, ensuring you have a proper online infrastructure ready to go. And then also, I mean, I think the benefit of AI in the church can simplify a lot of things, whether it's things like and you have an idea for a scripture, like, okay, I want a scripture on marriage. ChatGPT can print out 5, 6, 7 different ones with different contexts and give you, and you can now align that into whatever you're thinking your sermon should be. So there's a lot of things that technology can offer the church, I would say. But what do you think?
I mean, amazing. I think that COVID was a game changer, and the church in Nigeria leveraged like a lot of churches had leveraged infrastructure, technology to scale. You know, I'm still using my product lingua. And major events, programs that happen in churches these days, you have an online audience more than even the physical presence. I think it's a major shift. The biggest YouTube platform is Pastor Jerry's in Nigeria, right? That gives to show you how, just how they're leveraging tech. But I think in this age, one of the things that we built for a particular church was leveraging AI for language translation. So you had AI translating content of their sermon in about 100 languages in the voice of the pastor. So imagine we're adding like a new base of audience. It doesn't need to go and set up in any of those countries, right? It doesn't if a message is ready under like 24 hours or something, literally can hear him in his tone, the pastor's tone, in that language, right? So I think that's a major use case for AI. There's another platform that I can't remember the name, and maybe I'll send it out later when this goes live, where the AI I think it has to do with helping the pastor easily remember scriptures or something while during ministration. I think I saw it on Twitter yesterday. Someone built something like that, like an AI agent that does that. But one of the things that we can leverage on is we have a very vibrant young population, and we can tap into that energy to say, look, how can we leverage AI to solve some of the problems like that churches are facing, right? Technology wise, right? Churches I know Joshuaville does that, encourages innovation, right? And major churches in Nigeria have set the benchmark for excellence. For example, think about the Experience, largest gathering of people in the world, like excellent quality, online, offline, like sound, everything is excellent, right? Think of different programs like Lilia Challenge, Wolfbeck, like the Experience, like I said, Redemption Camp, like so many things, and you can see how technology has been deployed, right? Like in real time, right? So that's a major use case, but of course there's always room for more use cases, and I think young people are being positioned, also bearing the fact that we are the largest young population in Africa, and globally we're probably going to be the largest youthful population. So there's always room for us to look at our local context and find ways to innovate. And these AI technologies are global, like it's not geographic bound in quotes, right? And Nigerians are everywhere, right? So, language is a major use case. Like, how can we use language to spread, in quotes, spread the gospel, right? To other regions, right? So I think that's one major use case.
Awesome. Also amazing. It's really good, and I like that you're speaking to how that the young population could also come together to, leverage on all of our networks to build more innovations, right? And as you were speaking, I just remembered a set of people. I think it's the Christian content creators. Right. I have a friend of mine, I don't know if it's annually or twice every year, that they have that network, right? Where all of the Christian content creators, from just posting content online to being the camera person in behind the church, or the sound person, or whatever you are doing, right? They all just come together, connect, and they have like sessions of engagement to, I think it's a beautiful thing. Maybe it's something we should also consider, gathering. And I do believe this is what F5 network is also about, right? Where we're gathering people to come up with innovations, and as well for the church, while also fostering relationships and networks amongst themselves. Okay, awesome. So as I think the takeout from this is that we can utilize our numbers. We can utilize every opportunity. And I think opportunities are things that they come by every season. COVID was an opportunity. While it was a problem, it was also an opportunity for us. And just like Sean shared, churches had to now then improvise so much that we still have a lot of people connecting with us online, even beyond the physical. So that's a good one. So maybe it wasn't so good for us as in the medical space, but it was also an opportunity for us to grow. All right. So moving on, I would like us to just touch base on some challenges, right? And I know that over the years in your careers, you've probably faced one or two challenges. It could be from the learning parts. It could be from, applying what you've learned, or it could be years after you've learned and you've grown into those fields. You now then have challenges. So I'll start with Sean, right? What are the challenges that you faced, right? I know you spoke about, starting off as a software engineer, building applications, you've transitioned into consulting, so much that you've done so well for yourself, right? But what are those challenges that you faced? And I want us to say this particular because we do have a lot of listeners that are considering their opportunity, their career fields in technology, or looking to switch roles in technology and whatnot. And you seem to have that experience in either switching or starting, right? So what are those challenges you faced, and how were you able to overcome them?
I would say I had two major challenges. The first was I didn't have enough knowledge about technology going into it, because you're coming from a Nigerian society where it's just, I was in school, primary school, secondary school, went to university, computer science. And I did not understand, I wasn't taught programming in school. That was something that was in my curriculum growing up. So when I started programming, I had a bit of a challenge. And not to give away my age, but I went to school before ChatGPT became a thing. So we didn't have that benefit to at least give us, if we had a problem, the only way to solve it was either what you were taught or what you were able to find online, with whatever research you had. So that made programming at the time, specifically in the school environment, very challenging for me, and kind of almost pushed me away from that field specifically. And that was my first major challenge. The second one I would say it's actually tied to the lack of having that knowledge base of what exactly. Okay, no. I'll explain this. Not knowing exactly where to go into. So at first, I went to school. You get a general knowledge base of like, so start to program, start to do web development, start to do data science. But then what I didn't know is that you should ideally, everyone out there, you should ideally specialize in a single field, because every single one of those fields I just mentioned is very vast. Even if you want to do like programming, also specialize what a specific language you must do. I go focus on Python, I go do Java, C#, etc. And even under those as well, under Python, for example, there are subsets of Python that focus on data science, some that focus solely on web development, some that focus on backend, some that focus on, I think nowadays you can get some AI, Python models as well. So specializing was something I did not learn until further later in life, and that was a challenge I also faced when I was maybe in my earlier 20s, I would say. Those are my two major challenges, I would say.
Awesome. So maybe it's my expectation, right? But you know how that, and I want us to be very honest, you know how that you could have gathered a lot of skill
Mhm.
as a software engineer, and you are already being tempted to, how about you just hack these people? How about you just open up the opportunity to get one or two data and information, use that, I think we call it is it Yahoo Yahoo?
So the beauty is that there's also hacking is not necessarily bad because there's also white hat hackers.
Yeah.
So there are companies that will pay people to hack their systems to check for vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
So if you want to hack, please don't do Yahoo. Maybe go outside and do maybe some ethical hacking with a bank or. So please, if you're out there and you're considering going down that route, maybe try some ethical hacking. Your services will really be valuable because a lot of banks will pay a lot of money to ensure that their security is very safe.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much, Yo. Over to you, please.
Challenges. I think major challenges, and I'm just going to talk about where I sit now. Building like an AI startup that is venture backed. It's figuring out product market fit. Right. AI is really large. There's so many use cases. It's the ability to figure out what is that one thing you could start with. What's your North Star? Right. And I think also we got in early in this part of the world into the AI startup phase. So we had to figure out a lot of things the hard way. Then, second thing also is just, I think that's a major thing, right? Sometimes also, second thing is also explaining to VCs, especially in this region, why your whatever you're working on is not an AI wrapper. It's not a ChatGPT wrapper. There was that era of ChatGPT wrapper. There was that era of, why are you the best person to do this? Like, somebody else can do this. And you're just trying to explain to the person. There's a product we're working on now that's going to go live. I don't know whether before this goes live. And, you have conversations and they say, I think Meta can, you have to explain. And, it's challenging initially, but it made us realize that, okay, is there really some sense in what they're saying? And is there an opportunity? And, asking those questions, answering those questions ourselves made us realize it's a big problem that we're solving, right? And based on feedback from customers, like they kept saying, can you add this to this? Can you add this feature? Can you add this feature? So it's building a scalable product from this region. It's hard. Building products is hard. Building AI products is 10 times harder because it's AI, man. Like I have no idea what's OpenAI is going to release next year. That can just be, can't just swallow up all the products you've built. So you have to be sure that you're not in their line of product roadmap, to still be relevant. I think that's a major challenge. Like we face.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. So I think I had something to say about the environment as per challenges, right? Who you connect with, who you surround yourself with, what you hear, and how you then build yourself, even in the space of technology, because just like you rightly mentioned, right, it's very vast. Right, it's vast. I fear that the market as well is volatile, and there is one question I wanted to ask though. There are already fears because I overheard some group of young people speaking, and they had this fear of, why should I ever learn anything on HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and the rest? Because they were about to launch their career into tech, right? If in the next few years or in the next 1 or 2 years, AI can come up with another product that can code, do everything that every software engineer can do, generates screens and designs in place of any UI UX designer, probably come up with roadmaps, user stories, XYZs, generative AIs and all of that stuff, right? So open question, right? The future of technology and the implications of integrating AIs into our daily business and the rest. Is there any fear or prompt that you foresee that could swallow up the jobs of millions of tech professionals at the moment?
I don't think it's going to swallow up, to be honest. I think people are over-exaggerating on, this job. Like, some jobs are going to go, definitely. But I don't see any foreseeable situation where software engineers will not be in demand.
Yeah.
Right. It's like saying because machines can do stuff, you don't need someone to operate the machines. Right. You still need that knowledge, you still need that expertise to say, okay, even if I'm like there are AI agents that can write code, right? What exactly is the output? You need a knowledgeable software engineer to be able to guide it in code, right? And AI is also going to open up more technical jobs that we never knew existed before that. So just like before the internet, typewriters were like the biggest jobs like back then, you know, and the internet came, you know, like we had more advancements, but you also opened up more opportunities, right? So I think now you're talking about automation experts, like people that build AI agents, no code AI tools. Like 4 years or 5 years ago, there was nothing like that. That was a very minute field, right? We're doing stuff in conversational commerce space. It wasn't really popular 2 years ago, right? So that's going to open up a lot of opportunities that we don't even know, right? So I think we should look at, but of course, some routine jobs are definitely going to start fading out. Some obsolete jobs like data, like I like anything that you think that is routine that needs AI agent probably can do it faster. But I also think that it's not going to completely take away human beings, right? No, like I don't see that happening.
Right.
What do you think, Joe?
No, I think AI before it will take maybe a long time before AI fully replaces a full development team, I would say, from whether, so a dev team usually has project managers, backend developers, front-end developers, data scientists, and testers. Some have a bit more than that, but that's more or less what you need in totality. And for AI to replace all of that, it's impossible. If AI is, at least as of today, still a tool that is used. And what it does is that it streamlines a lot of redundant things that are done in programming and in data science. So I think it was yesterday or a few days ago, I needed to build something fairly quickly that if I used what I used to use when I was in school, well, it's taken me like 2-3 days to find what to do and then some testing over and over again. But because I knew what I wanted and I had that experience to know what it requires, I knew what to enter ChatGPT to say, I need this, and this. They'll give me some different options. I'll pick the one that I know fits what I need and streamlines what can take 2 days to maybe 2 hours. So that's where, at least as of today, AI is not going to take anyone's jobs. And even more so than that, still having that basic knowledge base of using different programming tools or different data science tools or anything specifically tech focused is so valuable because if you don't know what you're doing, it doesn't matter what you put in ChatGPT. You can't say, build me a website. They'll say, okay, so what language are you using? That's the next question they'll ask you. And if you don't know how to use, if you don't have to even install Python or .NET, it can't help you. It can maybe help you out to teach you how to install that, but if you don't have the knowledge base, you don't know what to do, you'll be a bit confused. So having at least a basic knowledge is extremely valuable, I would say.
Awesome. So do we agree on a skill up or fall back or fall behind?
Definitely skill up.
Definitely skill up. So in the time when a lot of things are happening and it's going so fast, right? Perhaps an advice to every person should be to skill up.
Yeah, definitely. Skill up. Learn the fundamentals, like Sean said. Learn the fundamentals. There are a lot of tools now that can help you learn faster, right? There are a lot of tools that you can use, but still go back to the fundamentals, right? I literally use AI every day, right? But doesn't still change the fact that you have to build a startup. AI isn't going to sell. AI isn't going to meet people and sell for them. Like, but I could learn, how to be a better salesperson or be a business developer, or be a better leader, or how to understand accounting or finance or things like that. But I still need to talk to a knowledgeable person about some things. Hey, this is what I'm trying to learn. You still go back to knowledge. Right?
Yeah.
So it's just going to help increase productivity. So I usually say AI is not going to take your job, but somebody that leverages AI might replace you.
Right? Oh, awesome.
So that's what I say. Right. So so if you use AI, you're going to maybe you're going to have an edge over somebody that doesn't, and that's the person that will take your job, not necessarily.
Okay, cool. Since our conversations are still around AI, I just have one more thought, because I don't know. I've heard a lot from people, right? It will speed up productivity, but do you think somehow in some place it's also encouraging laziness?
Nah, I don't think so.
So let me because he had mentioned something that I think is related to prompt engineering, whereby it could have taken you 2 to 3 days. But I mean, there's AI. I could just drop a prompt and then it gives me a line of code. I could equally take it into my ID, test it, pass, and then I push to prod or UAT thereby. But the question is this: do you see a world where AI exists and people are also, counterproductive to how they used to live their life or do their jobs on a daily basis? Because I mean, there's not the ease of AI. Just as we now have the ease of technology, I don't need to write letter with my hands. I don't need to go to a postal office. I could just, at the comfort of my bed, someone mere miles away has gotten it. But with AI, do you foresee any form of, maybe it will encourage more laziness, XYZ?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think it creates more room for more work. Citing his example, boys didn't take him 3 days, he's done it in hours. It's more tasks, more to-do list, right? And I think we underestimate the power of, like, we human beings, the ability to create more room for doing more things, right? You're having people who have multiple side jobs more than ever before, and they are doing well at all those things thanks to AI, right? So you have people doing 3 jobs, 2 jobs, and they're more productive. That's increased prosperity, right? And also, I don't think it's going to make people lazy. I think it's just going to make you more focused and more productive at what you're doing. And, anything that makes us rest more is welcome, especially in this fast-paced world that we live in, right? So if I can finish my to-do list, shorter and get some time to rest more, spend more time with family, spend more time with people I care about, or learn a new skill, or do something that I enjoy, it's usually overall, it has a net benefit for me as a person and for the society at large.
Awesome. Thank you. Any thoughts from you, Sean?
I think the only way that lazy conversation comes in might be in the education system, because I know there's a whole situation about students not really doing the work that is assigned to them. They give ChatGPT and then obviously it just solves, again, what could have taken a week of work gives you in one night. So that's the only area I would say you can say is lazy. But because in the workforce you're always working, there's always something to do. All AI models will do is just save you that redundant time that you have spent maybe sending 20 emails. It'll take maybe an hour. I can send that same 20 in 5 seconds. That's an hour of your life you just saved. That you can now use that to maybe do more research. Maybe, as you said, just spend time with your family, which I think is a problem of the previous era, where because people are just working on what was mostly redundant tasks, their families suffer for it. But because AI saves you an extra hour, 2 hours of your life, that's 2 hours you can maybe quickly go to your child's football game, your daughter's school play, or maybe just go and go for dinner with your wife. That's, I think, a benefit in that regard. So the laziness only maybe for school, but everywhere else, it's a net benefit, I would say.
Okay, so regardless of how AI assists to ease off things, we still need to put in the work, particularly in learning, right?
Yes.
I mean, you can't go to a job interview and then they're asking you questions. Oh, please hold on, let me ask. You have to have something to deliver before they give you the job. So yeah, so maybe to the audience, whoever they are, it could be the younger people, the younger folks, or even if you're an adult, like a old person, and you're looking to learn something in technology, or just switch or transition, still learn, right? Leverage the opportunities that you have with AI, the tools that you have, and just upskill yourself. Like we said, upskill or you fall behind, right? So I'm hoping we also picked that up. Okay, so because I want us really to wrap this up as quick as we can, I just have one question, and it's on the counsel you would now then give as the co-founder for Zero Complex AI. When I hear co-founder, particularly in this current age, I feel like, they've done a lot of work for me to amount to becoming a co-founder. I probably have finished as an intern, gathered one or two skills, worked my way into junior level roles, got into executive roles, senior executive role, and an idea came up, I worked on it, and I'm now at the level of co-founder. So it's really an honor, first of all, for me to sit with a co-founder. I'm looking forward to that day as well myself. But to you, how did you get here? What advice would you give to every young person out there looking to
be honest, like it's not as complex as you think. It's not as hard as you think. My advice first is take your time. Don't be in a hurry. There's always going to be ideas to pursue. Take your time. Don't be in a hurry. There's going to be ideas to pursue. Learn as much as possible. Learn. Go work for someone. Go work in an environment where they're doing things at cutting edge. Any opportunity to find to work for someone, do it. Take it. Then test, experiment before you branch out and say you want to start. Like ensure that whatever you're doing, people need it, people can pay for it, and it's a scalable product. How do I start? To be honest, I've been working in Further Wave, and I think ChatGPT came out in November 2022, I think, and I knew that we had entered a new phase globally in terms of like I knew there was going to be a shift, there was a shift from analog to digital. Then digital was web. Then we moved to mobile. If you remember, like Facebook, everybody was now doing mobile. Like it was just web. We were interacting with Facebook, even on your phone. Then it was web, right? And everybody just made that move to mobile, and there was a surge in mobile apps, and everything was mobile apps, mobile first. And when ChatGPT came out, I remember I told my co-founder that this is another shift. And I just finished reading the book Living the Tarmac by Ike Mwakede. And the first cover, it was flying to somewhere, and everybody was rushing on that flight. Then back then it wasn't as structured as airline industry wasn't as structured as it is now. And he missed his flight. Right. And he swore to himself that he will never ever find himself in a position where he was going to leave. It was like he was going to be left at the tarmac. Then he mentioned how banking was evolving, and he knew that I think 2005 or that year was a year where if he did not start a bank, there will never be an opportunity in his own generation to start a bank. And like coincidentally, ChatGPT launched, and I just said, okay, I think I have a shot. Like whatever this is going to be, I want to be at the cutting edge. Like I want to do something in my generation. I want to be known for something. And fortunately for me, I had co-founders that also believed in it. And it's just been a months and of series of experimentation, figuring it out, and hopefully, like I said, before this goes live, we'll have launched the product that we think that we finally have at least gotten a bit of traction and success. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much. So taking to what Kehinde has said now, he says, learn. I think those were the first words he said. Learn, work for someone, gather that experience, experiment your hands on many things, right? And I feel like a lot of people are not open to that. I recall a time I just concluded my NYC, and a couple of my friends were talking. I said, okay, what are we going to do now? And so, I don't want to work for anybody who's going to start up. I said, I believe in you, but like, you still need to raise capital to be able to work on what you want to do, right? But, we're all doing so well at the moment. And I think it's just very important for us to keep hitting the hammer on. You need to learn, you need to get your hands on many experiments, gather the experience, work for someone, learn from someone else, right? If you think you know it better, someone know it best. If you think you have it all covered, right? Someone has better knowledge than what you have. All right. So thank you very much, Kehinde. Seun, over to you. How and what advice would you give to the young ones?
I think I have to first reiterate, please, always try and learn, always try to skill up the best you can.
Yeah.
I remember when I was younger, I used to be, when I was 14, 15, so you're getting towards the end of secondary school. You're thinking to yourself, okay, school is almost done, I don't have to learn anymore. Then I think my mother told me that, look, I can't lie to you, like you will never stop learning. And I didn't really understand what she meant when she said that. But obviously, like I can tell you right now, in the last 5 years, I've learned equally as much as I learned when I was in secondary school or university. So you never really stop learning if you want to grow. And on top of that, I would say take risks, because you really don't know where that can take you. For example, this podcast, I've never done podcast before. And somebody reached out to me to say, oh, we should do a podcast. And now I've listened to several podcasts in my life. And I was like, you know what? Why not? I don't know where I don't know where it will take me. It's my next experience. And you never know what this experience can teach me or what I can use in the future. And so take risks, but make sure they're calculated risks. Don't go and bet everything on something that may or may not be the plan for your life. On that note, rely on God, rely on your faith. Try to get Christian mentors that can guide you, that have seen what this insane life has had to offer in the past, and ensure that, or not ensure, at least to the best of your ability, try and ensure that you rely on God in everything you do, pray, read your Bible, etc. And I think that's all I can say. And also, this one is a bit of a, this is not as formal, but don't let life pressure you too much. Life can be very intense, and there are moments that can be very, you can feel like everything is going left or it's not going the way you want to go to. But it's a journey, and you look back on those moments and be like, remember when I almost went bankrupt doing this thing? Remember when I didn't think I'll ever get a job, and next thing you know, you're 2 years into your career. So rely on God, keep learning, do the best you can in everything you can do, and take it. Don't let life push you too much, I would say. So,
I also want to like piggyback on what he said. I think one of the things I don't think we talk about, especially as Christians, is failure is also part of the process. Right? My pastor used to say something that even God, at the first attempt, he did not get everything right. The Bible says that in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth was without form and void. We all know God doesn't create something bad, so something must have gone wrong between verse 1 and verse 2, and that was God just figuring it out, right? He created Adam and Eve. They failed him to some extent. He tried so many people till they stumbled on Jesus, right? And, Jesus died, brought everybody. I mean, even till now, God still, God is forever. I think God is the best product manager forever, or startup CEO, I know, forever iterating, right? I think failure is something that we don't think it will happen to us. But I think every major successful person out there had failed in one thing or the other. So one of the things I've learned in the last few months of my life is, like one of my friends will say, okay, you have failed. What's the next thing? Get up now. And you'll be shocked at how major of the people that we celebrate today, they failed, and they got back again. And, what they are doing now, imagine if they did not try again. Like, do you know what life would have been like? Think about Steve Jobs. Imagine if he didn't come back to Apple. Think about like Bill Gates, even Mark Zuckerberg. Facebook wasn't his first startup, right? He probably failed at something. It just does something to you. You have it has happened. Bible says that Job said, that thing which I greatly feared has happened. So he failed, okay. And I one of the things I wished was, because, some people are like A students, primary school, secondary school, everything, like they've passed. I wish I mean, looking back, I wish I failed a bit maybe in secondary school and hit my reality where you have to ask for help, because this is something that does when you fail a subject, you want to ask for help. Please come and teach me. It does something to you as a human being and realize that you need people, you need to ask questions, you need to figure out life, and you become more knowledgeable, right? So failure is important. If you failed before, it means you're on the right path, right? Just figure it out. Like the best example is God. God lost 1/3 of the angels. It doesn't mean that he's a bad God. He could. it's just life. And he's working with the remaining angels, right? And you know, like God is your startup guy. Like he never said, oh, you know, he didn't work with Adam. I'm not interested in mankind again. No, angels, let's go back to heaven. And like he kept kept iterating till he finally stumbled on the product market fit, Jesus. And look at how he's scaling with that product now, Jesus. Right? And there's so many expressions. And that's maybe I see like, from the lens of a startup guy. So I don't like failure is as part of like process and everything. So
awesome. Thank you guys. Failure is important. Take risks, calculated risks, and of course surround yourself with the right people. And I do believe that with all of these words, we have been able to, at least in some measure, you know, expose your mind to the world of technology, how you could get your hands into it, what you need to learn and what you need to do along the way. And for this reason, right, because, you know, Kehinde spoke about connecting with the right people. And I do think that that's very, very key and important. We are also inviting you as well to come join us on the F5 network, right? We have a WhatsApp community. We have a community of different people from different walks of life, right? Today, we have the co-founder of Zero Complex AI. We have Seun, who is also a tech consultant in EY, right? Tomorrow, we'll probably be having the president, sitting up here. Or Seun could have as well scaled up to become a global CEO. I mean, these are things that we look forward to. But yeah, do connect yourself with the right people. So are you a believer again? Are you a professional, an entrepreneur? You need a space that you could connect with, have like mind, share ideas, build something, right? Do plug in with us on F5 network, right? And we are going to have more of this podcast session. Today we're having discussions on technology, but again, we're going to have many, many more coming up. And so we look forward to you joining us in the next episode. And we hope that you had an amazing time with us. So on behalf of myself, the whole of F5 network, and our amazing guests today, which I really appreciate. Thank you so much for honoring our invitations. Thank you so much. We want to say thank you guys and see you guys next time. Bye. Can we just wave bye to everyone? Bye guys.
Bye.
All right. Bye everyone.
Yeah.